I think some episodes of this series could be accused of not being critical enough. So I wanted this episode to be about having a critical edge that I feel is very important. And I'll begin with a story of something that happened to me at one of the galleries I've worked at. I was carrying a painting out of the gallery, and somebody saw it and said, "Wait, stop. I have to see this painting. It's so beautiful." Now, I'm not entirely convinced she even saw the front of the painting. And if she did, she saw it just for a split second, and there was no time to make any judgment call about it, let alone call it beautiful. But what I think happened is she recognized it as a painting and therefore automatically defined it as beautiful. Now that is a huge problem. It's especially bad in this case because I had spent a lot of time with that painting, and I had come to the conclusion that it wasn't a good painting, that it was an awful painting, and in some ways it was the worst type of painting. It's the type of painting that just takes the most superficial components of the most recognizable painting styles of the last 100 years and just puts them on a canvas with no skill or voice or intention. And it ends up not having any content. Not only that, it's no more a painting than a mannequin is a human. Just like a mannequin doesn't have the spark that animates a human, this painting didn't have the spark that animates your experience of it. Now, there's something that Cicero said about speeches that helps me explain what I'm trying to say. He said that every speech is made up of words and content, and the words have to be very carefully chosen, or else the content stays in the dark. But if there is no content, then no matter how carefully the words are chosen, they're just sounds. And this is what this painting was. It was just paint. And that's where the critical edge becomes so essential, because it seems like it has content, but it didn't. And until you're critical enough of that thing to make it prove to you it has content, whether or not it actually does is unimportant. You have to have the thing prove to you its worth, because there are things that seem to have content and don't, and things that don't seem to have content and do. But it's up to you to figure it out. Because if there's anything I've ever learned from reading Emily Dickinson, it's that our souls are cowards that have fled this world, and it is our responsibility to drag them back in. And maybe the only value of something is how near its soul sits to its surface. And that proximity can only be discerned by being critical. But I'm not saying don't be joyous, because criticality without joyousness is nihilism. But at the same time, joyousness without criticality is recklessness. And between nihilism and recklessness, I'm not sure which is more dangerous.